Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert with quite a bit of experience in modern hospitality operations, and I am so pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. Now, in the world of hospitality, every single interaction, it really counts. The words we use have this incredible power to make someone feel welcomed and valued and truly understood. So today, we're diving deep into inclusive communication, a philosophy that I believe sits at the very heart of what makes service truly exceptional. This quote just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? When we're interacting with guests from all corners of the globe, our words are so much more than just tools for a transaction. They are instruments of connection. Every single phrase we choose can either build a bridge or, well, it can create a wall. Our job is to be expert bridge builders. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll start with the core philosophy of what it means to welcome someone. Then we'll get practical and explore 3 pillars to build on that foundation: clarity, respect, and empathy. And finally, we'll pull it all together and see why this is so much more than just a skill. It's a mindset that's fundamental to your success. Okay, so what exactly is this philosophy of welcome? Well, at its core, it's all about honoring the differences in our guests. It's about consciously, intentionally creating an environment where every single person who walks through our doors feels seen, feels respected, and feels truly valued from the moment they arrive. And this is a really crucial point. Our goal here is to reduce barriers, not to simplify our ideas so much that we sound like we're talking down to someone. This isn't about using childish language, not at all. It's about having the empathy to recognize that people have all sorts of different levels of language proficiency, and it's on us to adjust our communication to meet them where they are. All right, so that brings us to our first practical pillar: clarity. This is all about making sure your message lands exactly as you intended it to for every single guest, no matter what their linguistic background might be. It's surprisingly easy to create confusion without even meaning to. Think about it. Idioms like "we're swamped" might be second nature for us, but for a guest who's not a native speaker, it adds this huge cognitive load. They aren't just translating words, they're trying to decode a cultural puzzle. The solution? It's simple. Just use direct, literal language. It leaves zero room for misinterpretation. Giving directions is a perfect example of this in action. Don't just rely on your words. Break down the steps into smaller, manageable parts. Speak at a comfortable, natural pace. Use your hands, point, or even better, grab a map. And offering to write it down, that's such a simple gesture of care, but it can make a world of difference for a guest. And that kind of care leads us perfectly into our second pillar, which is respect. This is where we shift from just being understood to actively honoring the identity of every single guest we meet. Let's start with something absolutely fundamental: a guest's name. It is not just a label, it's deeply, deeply tied to their personal and cultural identity. Making a genuine effort to pronounce it correctly is one of the fastest, most powerful ways to show you respect them as an individual. And please never be afraid to ask for help. I promise you, guests almost always appreciate the effort. A simple, polite, "Could you please say your name for me one more time?" shows that you care enough to get it right. It's a small gesture that builds immediate rapport and trust. Here's another incredibly powerful tool. Just ask this simple question: why? Because it completely eliminates assumptions. We should never, ever assume a guest's language preference based on how they look or where they're from. By asking, you empower the guest and you make it crystal clear that their comfort is your top priority. Respect also means making sure everyone feels included. Moving away from old school greetings like "ladies and gentlemen" to something more inclusive like "everyone" or "valued guests" is a small change with a huge impact. It signals that this is a welcoming, safe space for people of all gender identities. Okay, so this brings us to our third and final pillar, and honestly, this is the one that really ties everything together: empathy. This is all about communicating with kindness and a real awareness of the guest's emotional state. I can't stress this enough. Your tone of voice, it conveys so much more than your words alone. A warm, patient, kind tone can make a guest feel safe, especially if they're trying to navigate a new environment or a new language. It's the kindness in your voice that truly communicates genuine hospitality. This is all about preserving a guest's dignity. Asking something like, "Does that make sense?" can, without you meaning it, put them on the spot and make them feel a little dumb. But if you reframe it as, "How can I clarify this for you?" see what that does? It puts the responsibility back on you, the communicator. It just opens the door for questions in a really supportive, judgment-free way. Great hospitality really means being a great observer. Pay close attention to your guests' cues. Are they formal and a bit reserved, or are they more relaxed and conversational? Marrying their style while always staying professional is such an empathetic way to build comfort and real connection. So, all of this, the clarity, the respect, the empathy, it all leads us to our final and maybe most important point. We've talked about a lot of skills and techniques, but inclusive communication isn't just something you do, it's a reflection of who you are as a hospitality professional. It really is a mindset. This right here, this is the core belief that has to drive everything we do. It's an attitude that's built on awareness, on humility, and a genuine willingness to adapt. It's the deep, unshakable understanding that every single guest who walks through our doors deserves to feel comfortable, understood, and truly valued. So let's end with this definition. Think about it. Inclusive communication is a philosophy that elevates our work. It transforms a routine check-in or simple greeting into an opportunity for a meaningful human connection. It's how we live out our commitment to respect, empathy, and genuine care every single day. So I want to leave you with this question to carry forward with you. Think about it every day, in every interaction you have. How will you use the power of your communication to make every single guest feel truly and authentically seen? Because that is the art of modern hospitality.